The whispers started in the lodges of the Porcupine Mountain Ski Resort, tucked away in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. It was mid-February, the snow blanketing the ancient forests like a shroud, and the cross-country trails wound through pines heavy with frost. At first, it was just one skier missing, a young man from downstate who vanished during a solo trek. Search parties combed the woods, finding only his abandoned poles stuck in the drifts. Then another, a couple from Wisconsin, their tracks ending abruptly near the frozen lake of the clouds. By the time the third disappearance hit the local news, panic simmered beneath the resort's cheerful facade. Rumors spread like wildfire through the Ypres ski bars. Some said it was a kidnapper, a deranged local preying on tourists. Others whispered about animals, wolves maybe, or a rogue cougar that had wandered north. But the tracks searchers found were massive. Paw prints the size of dinner plates, blurred by wind but unmistakably ursine. Bears in winter? Black bears hibernated, didn't they? The resort downplayed it, assuring guests the trails were safe. But lift lines thinned, and the night air carried an undercurrent of dread. What's up, guys and gals? Iceman here. Welcome to Horrors of the North. These are the best bear attack videos on YouTube. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to this page, and let's get into it. Emily Hargrove, 39, and fiercely independent, dismissed the hysteria. A divorcee from Lansing, she'd come to the UP for solitude, not stories. Her ex-husband's betrayal had left her craving the raw silence of the wilderness. Cross-country skiing was her therapy, gliding through untouched snow, poles punching rhythmically, breath fogging the crisp air. She checked the trail map at the resort's edge, ignoring the warning signs about traveling alone. "It's just paranoia," she muttered, clipping into her skis and pushing off into the forest. The sun filtered through skeletal branches, casting long shadows on the powder. For the first hour, it was bliss. The crunch of snow under her blades, the distant call of a raven. Then the wind shifted, carrying a metallic tang. Blood? Emily paused, heart quickening. The trail narrowed, flanked by dense thickets of hemlock. A low rumble echoed from the underbrush, like thunder trapped in a throat. She spun, skis tangling, and there it was. A hulking gray bear. Not black like the locals knew, but ashen-furred, its coat matted with ice and gore. It stood on hind legs, towering 8 feet. Eyes like polished obsidian, lips curling over yellowed fangs. This wasn't a hibernating beast. It was a nightmare, awakened, perhaps mutated by the harsh UP winters or something darker. Emily screamed, but the forest swallowed it. She turned to flee, skis slipping on the incline. The bear lunged, a blur of muscle and fury, its paws slamming onto her back like sledgehammers. Pain exploded through her ribs as claws raked her parka, shredding fabric and flesh. She tumbled into the snow, blood blooming red against white. The world spun, sky, trees, fangs, and then darkness as the bear's jaws clamped around her leg, dragging her off the trail. She woke to agony, her body a map of fire. The bear's den was a cavernous hollow beneath a uprooted oak, the entrance camouflaged by snowdrifts. The air reeked of decay, a choking miasma of rot and urine. Emily lay still, playing dead as the beast loomed over her, its hot breath washing across her face. It sniffed, grunted, then nudged her with a paw the size of a shovel. Satisfied, it turned away. That's when she saw them. In the dim light, filtering through the entrance, bodies littered the den like discarded dolls. Skiers, dozens, their parkas torn, faces frozen in eternal screams. Equipment strewn about, bent poles, shattered goggles, a backpack spilling energy bars. Body parts scattered. A severed arm here, a gnawed femur there. Bones picked clean and splintered. One corpse, fresh, stared at her with glassy eyes, its torso eviscerated. Emily bit back a sob, tasting blood. How many had vanished? The rumors were wrong. This was no kidnapper, no ordinary animal. This gray monstrosity was a collector, a devourer. The bear settled nearby, pawing at a fresh skull, perhaps from the Wisconsin couple. It cracked the bone with a sickening snap, tongue lapping at the exposed brain matter. Emily's stomach heaved, but she stayed motionless. Every breath a torment. Minutes stretched into eternity. Finally, the bear rose, shook its massive frame, and lumbered out into the snow, leaving a trail of crimson footprints. Now or never. Emily crawled, dragging her mangled leg, each inch a battle against pain and cold. Blood smeared the den floor, mixing with the remnants of others. She passed a half-eaten torso, its ribs splayed like broken wings, and retched silently. The entrance loomed, a silver of daylight. She emerged into blinding white, gasping, the forest spinning. Then a scream pierced the air. Not hers. 50 yards away, through the trees, another woman thrashed in the snow, a skier, blonde hair whipping as the bear clamped onto her ankle. "Help, Cado, help!" she wailed, skis flailing uselessly. The bear dragged her toward the den, her nails gouging furrows in the snow. Emily froze, hidden behind a drift. The woman locked eyes with her for a split second, pleading, terror-stricken, before the bear pinned her down. It didn't wait. Jaws torn to her thigh, blood spraying in arcs. The screams turned guttural, wet, as it ripped chunks of flesh, eating her alive. Muscle and tendon snapped audibly, the woman's body convulsing. Emily clamped a hand over her mouth, tears freezing on her cheeks. The bear feasted, oblivious, until the cries faded to whimpers, then silence. Emily crawled away, deeper into the woods, adrenaline fueling her broken body. Snow numbed the wounds, but blackness crept at her vision's edge. She collapsed in a clearing, the world fading to white. She woke to rotor blades chopping the air. A rescue chopper hovered, spotlights piercing the dusk. Medics bundled her onto a stretcher, IVs piercing her veins. "Bear, den, bodies," she rasped, pointing weakly. The team radioed it in. State troopers, wildlife officers, a full assault. They found the den at dawn, following her directions. Flashlights swept the horror. The charnel house of skiers. At least 20 confirmed victims, some dating back months. The bear charged from the shadows, a gray behemoth roaring defiance. Gunfire erupted, rifles barking, the beast jerking with each impact. It fell in a heap, blood pooling beneath its riddled hide. But horror struck as they approached. The bear's eyes fluttered open, not dread, not quite. And in the den's depths, a low growl echoed. Not one, but many. Cubs, gray-furred and ravenous, emerged from the gloom, their muzzles stained with human remnants. The team opened fire again, but the realization dawned. This wasn't one monster, it was a family, bred in the UP's unforgiving wilds, hungering for more. As the shots rang out, Emily, safe in the hospital, dreamed of gray shadows stalking the snow, waiting for the next lone skier.